World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressed in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Happy Monday! It's your girl Marie Dunn from With the Bold Show. I am super excited, like always, sending all the viewers, the listeners, love, light, peace, and energy all the time. The Bold Show. Bold for me as well. It's an acronym, brilliantly overcoming life disappointments. This show, it's about showcasing our resilience, allowing others to know that we are not immune to challenges in our lives, but it's how we respond when those encounters comes about. You are as strong as you want to be. You just have to believe in yourself and develop those coping mechanisms that will get you through. I just wanted to share some information before I introduce my guest tonight. Today, I had to ride the train, the 2 train, to go into the city. And I was just like really moved. And it was a bit disheartening. As I got on the cart, there was this woman heavily pregnant. And you could tell I have no idea how long she's been riding back and forth on the train. And it was just so much reminders that we have so much to be thankful for. And we should still show up and be kind and be compassionate because you just never know what someone else is going through. Let's stop asking why and try to understand what happened. We're not immune. This could be you. This could be me. It takes one incident, one situation to throw us off balance. And if you don't have the right resources and you don't have the right supports, then it's almost difficult for you to bounce back. So let's just think about that as we go along and just pray for others and just be kind in general. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our lovely guest tonight, Crystal Robinson. True story. I went to the Wendy Williams show, I think it was last month. Yes, last year. And I met this vivacious, bold woman. And as a sister, I was truly impressed. And then she had this energy about her that was enlightening, it was warm and welcoming. And I approached her. And here we are today. I am excited, I am elated, and I am humbled and honored to introduce our guest tonight, Crystal Robinson. She is the CEO of her own swim line. I'm not going to give much. I'm going to give her the opportunity to introduce herself. Welcome, Crystal, and good evening. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Speaking with you live is an honor. So Swim by Chrissy is basically launched in June. It's something that I created Swimwear. The acronym of Swim by Chrissy means sexy women inspire and motivate. Reason why I came up with that, us being sexy in our own skin, us being confident as women, inspiring one another, and also motivating each other is why I created it. Because not only if it's a swimwear, if we help each other out as women, it could be more than just that. It's more this self-confidence than anything. So I launched that this June, coming out, and starting March, we will start having more fundings and more, I would say, proceeds for us to start donating to women's shelters and women jails. Because at the end of the day, the women are our backbone, and we do need to help each other out and support each other. So I want my company to represent exactly what it stands for, and it's sexy women inspired to motivate.
Wow, Crystal, that's amazing. But before we get to swim, right? I want you to just shed some light on what was your life before swim and how you got to what was the mastermind? What was your motivation? What happened that
Um,
led you to this?
okay, so my background is, I would say, I went to college for business.
Mm,
Um, Me going into the business field, I went to Berkeley, being the first woman that graduated from my family,
mm,
going to school, having, I would say, let's start from the background. I would say having to be a woman with was raised with so many sisters, stepsisters, half sisters, and real sisters. Um, I get to see we had to have that no matter what we've been through, fighting, whatever it is, we always had to come together and be there for one another. So me being here thinking of coming up with Swim by Chrissy today, I would say is naturally because I had to think outside the box. I wanted to break family curse. I wanted to have something to have in my own, something to help people. And it was laying on my heart. And, you know, your purpose in life that guys have you here is to help people, is to, you know, not only produce, they would say, you know, because help create jobs people are doing as well too, but helping people is one of the things. Kindness and generosity and humanity is what we should stand for. And I felt deep in my heart to create something that is not only Black owned for women, all shapes and sizes, to just have that. I would say.
this is so beautiful. I hear so much in that short response you gave me. You have like an entrepreneurial mindset. And
Mhm,
then I hear community work. I
mhm,
hear giving back, being of service. And
yeah.
you're absolutely so right, Crystal, because that's our purpose,
Mhm,
to be of service. And how can we give back?
yeah.
Um, and you talk about, growing up with a lot of females.
Mhm, yes.
Oh, child, that can be so difficult at times,
Mhm,
but that's great as well. But I'm going to push your buttons a bit, right?
mhm,
Because creating a sisterhood
mhm,
and, in this society, and just from my observation and my assessment, I
mhm.
promise you, we're definitely going back to swim. We're going to dive into that.
Yeah.
But I think this background is a little bit important as well, right?
Mhm,
Because creating a sisterhood and being authentic and being real with each other, I
mhm.
struggle with that at times,
Yes. Mhm,
because women, some of us, we are so emotional
mhm,
and we're not honest. We
mhm,
don't often say what we mean, right?
mhm. Yeah.
So, talk to me about what your vision or
Mhm,
what your wish. Say, for example, I'm going to be a genie and I'm going to
mhm.
give you one wish. What would that wish look like for women, especially women of color?
To motivate and inspire and to lift one another. I'll
Yeah,
definitely want that. As queens, we
yeah,
should do that, you know, and we should want to do it intentionally. You know, we should want to feel it in ourselves to like, hey, I want to help this other sister to get where it is, to get where she want to go. It could be as simple as thing as, you know, hey, where did you get your inventory for getting these nice custom bags from? Oh, sure, here's the link. We're not doing nothing in the same field. We're not in the same thing, but we're helping each other out to be the best we can be.
and you know what? even if we are in the same field and even if we are
Exactly.
promoting the same thing, it doesn't make a difference. You know
That's
why? Because I think it's also, apart from having your products or whatever it is that
hmm
you use your service, right?
hmm
It's also about personality and it's also about attitude.
Yes. I'm all
So
about customer experience. I'm
exactly.
big on that when it comes to not only having a product, also giving that gratitude and gracefulness of someone
Yes.
even buying something and spending something. And then with me raising up and having to manage my money and not, saving and, basically being on my own, when I spend something, and I give that as, money and I want that service, I definitely want it with a smile, with a,
Yes.
that all around experience, because at the end of the day, your money doesn't have to come to me and my money doesn't have to go to you, but not only enjoying the product, just also giving that customer experience. So that's always big when it comes to me.
So for folks who are listening, customer service is so important. Um, I think that's one of the selling points in any business, in any marketing that you're
Mhm,
doing. Because Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you say or do, but people will never forget about the way you make them
mhm,
feel.
mhm.
People buy with emotions. It's
Yeah.
something about your product or something about you that
Mhm.
actually propel them to say, okay, fine, you know what, I need to make this purchase, right? We
Yeah.
spend with our emotions, right? And
Mhm.
this is why women like to do retail therapy because at
Yeah.
that it makes you feel good.
Mhm.
It makes you feel
Mhm.
valued. It
Yes.
makes you feel appreciated, right?
Mhm.
So I'm so happy. But for me, like you, it's like it's not about hate or
Mhm.
it's about showing up every single day. And I'm so intentional about this. Showing up every single day with compassion, being
Mhm.
kind with my words. I'm not perfect, but I
Mhm.
try my best. And I
Mhm.
have been making a conscious effort. If someone pushes my button and I get off balance for a second or I get emotional, I have taken the time to step back
Mhm.
and to reflect first
Yes.
because I'm practicing not being reactive, but to be
Mhm.
responsive and to
Yes.
be kind with my
Mhm.
words so that people can feel safe. And I really I'm pushing and it's like a campaign I'm almost doing with sisters.
Yeah.
We need to do a better job at how we treat each other.
Yes. Definitely.
We need to do a better job at how we treat each other.
Mhm.
When we come together collectively, we can be such a force to
Mhm.
reckon with. Why not fix my crown? If you notice my crown is falling, don't
Yes.
try to pull it off.
Mhm.
All right. So, just continue to do what you're doing, Crystal. You're doing amazing work. And I love that you believe in yourself.
Mhm. Um,
How did
the,
that,
the
how did you get to
background I
that
have.
point?
Yeah. I say believe in myself. I would think God. I remember being, just young and going through life itself, but always remembering to pray and to, thank Him. My background is kind of, long, but I was basically, raised with a guardian, I would say a close family friend member when I say from turning 5 years old. But from when I was born to turning five, I was raised by another close family friend member who passed away from cancer. So then she gave me to one of my Robinson close family friends who was married into a family. Her name is Wendy. She became my guardian from 5 years old until I, turned 18. And then with Wendy being around with sisters, as I said, she has daughters of her own. So her taking me in and also taking another child in, which was Johnny's daughter, taking us in as her family, us being literally the same age. She's only a month older than me. So her taking basically 2 5-year-olds in and her own kids was always something that I was grateful for. Um, I would say I had my own birth sister. Her name was Anita. She passed away when I was 6. So she was 10 and she was very sick. I just remember her always being there for me, always looking at, where's my Crystal Felicia? She would always tell me. And then my sisters would tell me, and family members would tell me to this day, after me trying to learn my life, that, yo, your sister loved you. You guys were two peas in a pod. And I did remember that love, that sisterly love, from her. And, to have to, lost her back then, and for me to be so young, that was very traumatizing as well. So I do have my birth mother did have other kids and other sisters and brothers, but she was one living with me at the time. And Wendy kids we also grown a relationship and we became sisters. Wendy I started calling her mommy. I'm telling you her name is Wendy, but she's my mother. I call her my mother. She, took me in, she raised me as a daughter. But one thing I can say, getting raised as someone being your guardian, and had me realize that it's not the same as a mother love, so.
Just sitting here, just listening to you being so vulnerable and sharing. I'm humbled. And it's also a reminder of the resilient nature that we have.
Yes.
And also acknowledging that developmental trauma, because at such an early age, you had to deal with all that loss and that grief. It's real. And I also want to know at this point in your life, because I hear that you're filled with so much gratitude. And then I hear the spirituality behind it. Like you talk about God and you talk about how you are connected. So make me understand, do you have like a routine? What do you do for self-care? And how do you maintain yourself after all of these years?
I would say I was always raised when we went to church. It started off with a regular Christian church. Back then, I definitely didn't understand it. But I remember a year in high school when I was probably like a sophomore, and one of my former best friends, Kristen, took me to her church in Newark, New Jersey. And it was a Baptist Christian church. And the way this pastor spoke was amazing. It was life problems that you were going through and how you overcome it with praying and thinking, spirituality with God, and seeing other people's testimonies and being around. And that was my first time I felt, okay, this is not only the place that I feel more closer to God and where I am connected. I got, baptized there. I became a Christian there. But I would say my faith going into Christ really led me to seeking where I can get closer to him. The father that was my guardian, he's a Catholic, it's not like, so I was go there to the church with them. I wouldn't feel a thing. It was an hour. Everybody's fine. But, everybody had this. And I'm just like, is it supposed to be like this? I don't feel him guiding me, telling me, leading me through my weekly days, because it's a refuel when you go to church on Sunday and you deal with people during the week. I didn't feel that at all. So I had to find him within myself from my own experience that I was going through, my own heartache I was going through. And that's why I said to this day, he has never failed me. So to say.
That is so powerful. We're such a creature of habit. And it also goes back to linking that with our socialization and recognizing how much our experiences like really shape who we are today. Quick question. Do you still go to church today? Do you still find the time to
online? Yeah, my church is still online. It was Abundant Life Church. It is Abundant Life Church. We was at a rented recreation center where they gave out food for the penitentiary. So since COVID, I don't think he has rented out anything as of yet. It's more of a small church. So online, I try to get it as much as I can, but it's nothing like the physical being there. Being around your people. And I was in the I was always in the choir, I would say, or I was in praise and worship. Was in Abundant Life was praise and worship. So I was like an alto or a tenor, but I only sing for God. I say to people, I'm not a singer. I only sing for Him. Like I sing for Him, and His people feel it with us there. And it was always an amazing feeling. So.
I'm so disappointed. I was just about to ask you to sing for me.
No, I was like, no, I don't sing.
So I guess maybe I'll have to come to church to hear you sing. Okay, so we could arrange that.
Again.
But you're so right about having that human connection, and that's what we all crave. Because I'm making a conscious effort to go back to church. So I went to church again yesterday. It was just really, to me, going to church always gives me the sense of fulfillment and satisfaction, and just being in that space. And I think it's also for me, I hold it dearly because it's like me giving back to God after a long week of the trials and the tribulations and the challenges and everything that comes up because we exist and because it's a part of our life. I think it's important for me to give back to Him and show that reverence by showing up. So that is great. And I'm happy that you have, the spiritual space to ground you.
And even if you don't go to church, having that connection with Him alone, because I had, being a, Christian in Newark, I still had to come back to New York and find a church of my own. And that alone was a process. People were judging you there for the wrong reasons and stuff. So I had to get in the mindset of, this church is not good for me, but I'm not going to ban all churches, just like if someone has a bad experience at a restaurant, they're not banning all restaurants, you know what I'm saying? They're going to try something else, they're going to go somewhere else. Just like when you do go to church and someone is watch people play basketball or on a basketball team. Why are you on that team? You're going to play because you like basketball. You want to be around your other teammates. I want to be around my other people because I'm going through trials and tribulations that can help them. And they're going through trials and tribulations that I know can help me and we can grow. So it's like a family,
And it's like having that shared experience in a communal space. And you're like, just back to your original point about church, to me, church is just the physical space, right? Definitely. It's about the community and it's about your why as to you get up every day or whenever and decide to do this. So I don't pay too much attention about like, I have to be in a physical space because church is just a physical space, right? It's the people exactly that makes so that's kudos. So now I understand your backstory and now I understand why you have that light about you. I'm not sure if anyone has ever told you that, but there is this light about you and we need that in our world today. But I think for me as well, I think it's like you have to be at that place where you are so emotionally matured where you could really accept and be there to be a cheerleader for another woman. Because that's my goal. I love to see our women like really getting somewhere. Like, even if I don't know you and I see you on social media,
definitely,
I'm applauding you from behind because I just never know. Although I'm very mindful, let's talk about social media, right? Social media is great, but also I'm very mindful of social media. Because again, it's so controlled. And it's like, to me, I believe sometimes some aspects of social media, it's all an illusion.
Definitely.
Because
people definitely make you feel like, wait a minute, what am I doing?
And I think this is a perfect segue for us to like dive into your swim line right now and have conversations about that, because it goes back. The first thing that popped up in my mind is body image. Body image, women not feeling comfortable, because we are living in a day and age where you have these beautiful women with like, they're all Barbie dolls because to me, they're all looking the same, because people are like, no offense, to each its own. If you want to get job done on your body, that's totally up to you.
Definitely.
But what I don't like at times, it's how they make other women like, well, not me, because I'm just so confident. So it doesn't bother me. But for other women out there who are not as confident, that really bothers me. So talk to me a little bit more about the confidence and like what you're really hoping to achieve, like with, because I looked at your lines and they're extremely sexy.
Yes.
You got to be bold to get into those.
Well, I'm happy you definitely say that, because Swim by Chrissy is definitely for women for all shapes and sizes. So
Okay.
I definitely have plus size pieces. We do go up to 5X. I get my swimsuits wholesale, and I also have some pieces that are going to be custom designed as well for women that are plus size. This March, Women's Month, I am going to be doing a plus size swimsuit photo shoot. I have a couple of plus size women, all different shapes and sizes. They're going to be trying out a couple of pieces. When I have an all woman photographer who's going to be doing it, it's going to be a good element, a good space for now my audience and people from the website can say and see, okay, this is a plus size line. This is also for people that are small or medium. I want you to feel confident in yourself when you wear my swim line, and not also feel confident when you wear it. Also, the acronym of what it means, sexy women inspire to motivate. I want every woman to feel that within themselves and want to help and want to do for another woman, or even help someone out. Like you said, it's all about inspiring and motivating, and that's what I want to do. So it goes up to 5X. Everyone is welcome to purchase and get it. It's online. You can do pickup as well too. Yes.
Okay, awesome. And I'm just sitting here cheesing and smiling from ear to ear, because it takes sexy to me. It's not about showing skin.
It's not. I'm
Sexy,
happy.
it's about your attitude.
Yes.
Your attitude says everything.
Mm-hmm.
And for women who are out there, I'm just like really hoping that you start unpacking, because it starts from within.
Mm-hmm.
You have to work your way inside out. You could put on the most sexiest bathing suit, but
Yeah.
if inside you are so broken, or you're internally you're so disconnected, then you're going to have a problem.
It's self-love. You have to
Exactly.
definitely have self-love. And if you don't have that self-love and you love to love others so much, you have to take the time out and try to figure out what makes you happy, what takes away, your mindset and have you manifesting into the next moment of your life. And I have learned that the hard way. I say 32 years. I just realized, like, hey, maybe therapy is for me. So going to a therapist and not being ashamed to say that, being on here saying, hey, I have been through trauma. I am not perfect. I had to, and I'm still not perfect. God is still working on me to be a better person to other people and to be a better woman for myself. So yes, self-love, I would say, is something that you definitely have to
I am so, so happy that you said therapy.
do. Definitely.
That's been such a struggle for some folks. Um, Going to see a therapist doesn't mean that you're crazy. Well, for myself, I'm a little crazy. I own that. But it's
Mhm.
also about taking accountability and acknowledging what it is that's actually going on with you internally. Being
Mhm.
honest with yourself and arriving at a place where you could be authentic, where you're
Yeah.
not here to please anyone, like
Mhm.
consistently seeking approval from others or
Yeah.
validation from others.
Mhm.
But like I said, it starts from within. You got to unpack that trauma.
Yes.
It's like
Mhm.
an onion. I like to use
Mhm.
the analogy of an onion. When you
Yeah.
have an onion, you have to peel it and take the layers away to get to the core. And I
Yes.
think it's the same thing as human beings. We have layers and layers of trauma
Mhm.
that's just packed on each other. And if nothing is done about it, it's going to manifest itself in so many different ways. And
Definitely.
oftentimes in maladaptive ways that is not healthy.
Mhm.
So
And
it is okay.
it
Go ahead,
is. It is.
Crystal.
It just takes one. It just took one person that invested in me to say, "Hey, did you ever try going to therapy?" So being that it would be something that's uncomfortable for me made me realize, like, wait a minute, maybe I do need therapy. And because of therapy is the reason why I seeked more about my family, about my birth mother. I have her cremation in my chest and the cross that I have on. So it represents God and my mom at the same time, being not having that relationship with her, but now getting information from, family and friends of how the woman she was. And it's a couple of similarities that she went through as trauma that I had went through. So just having that. So therapy has helped me going through that, it's still helping me to this day. I'm not saying, hey, I'm all good and perfect. I'm still a little crazy. No, I wouldn't say that, but it had me, I would say, like you said, on up to what I was doing wrong, what has bothered me, and also set boundaries.
Yeah.
Because it set boundaries for me as well, too.
It's heightening that self-awareness space, right?
Yes.
I'm forever going to be going to therapy. I can't wait for my session next week, because it's a space, it's a holding space where, like you said before, you don't have that fear of being judged.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about being correct or showing up and putting on. You literally can take that mask off and just be yourself. And this is why I'll encourage anyone who's possibly thinking about it to connect with the right person. Like really do your research and try to figure out what sort of therapist you want to see, because there are different types of therapists. If you're going through grief and loss, you want to make sure that you're finding a therapist who specializes in trauma, right? A grief therapist, you got to find that out, right? It all depends. So take the time out to really do your research. And even if you meet someone and you're not connecting and you don't feel that level of compatibility, then by all means say it's okay. Let me move on to the next person, because I guarantee you, eventually you'll find that person that you connect with. Because it took me like 4 tries before I
I had to do a couple of tries too. Yes, I did.
Yes, before I finally found someone that I can like, haha, this is my
Yes,
haha moment. I'm
yes.
stuck with you, right?
Definitely. So it took me
So
some tries as well to find
sisters,
a person, and
exactly.
it's a working process. It's not like
It
oh
is.
okay, yeah. So it's
Oh,
a
no.
working process on yourself to get through because being accustomed to a bad habit for so long, it takes a while
It
to
takes a while to change habits, right?
change
It takes
habits,
a while to change
change your
habits.
mindset, change the negativity
Exactly.
that you're feeling, change the, vulnerability that you're feeling, having discernment to be around the right people, you know what I'm saying? So that is all within what you choose when it comes to picking the right therapist,
Absolutely. So, for any viewer that probably is just hopping on, I'm here speaking with the inspirational Chrissy, Crystal. She is the CEO of Swim by Chrissy, as you could see, but she's here to make a difference. She's not just getting up every day, she's walking in her purpose and she's owning it.
Yes.
So, we are now going to talk about the challenges that you encounter to get to this space, because you recently just launched. And I must say, I celebrate you. I honor you. How do you celebrate yourself, though, with all the accomplishments that you have had in such a short time? How do you celebrate yourself? How do you show up for you?
Well, I do love to travel, but even with the accomplishments, being in, I guess, circles of people that are in bigger accomplishments is always strive me to want more.
Got it.
So it's like, okay, yes, this is all right, but I didn't do anything yet. I want to do so much more. I want to help so much more. I want to, really, I wish it was a wave that I had enough funds to have every swimsuit for all shapes and sizes for women right now. I wish I had the money to give out to the women's shelters and jails and help these people right now. It's just so much that I would say challenges of starting your own business. I would say the first 5 years, whatever you give, you got to put back. Whatever you spend, you got to put right back to order to get a name for yourself, to order to keep it consistent, to order to find out who your marketing is, who your people are, your audience is. So I say one of my challenges, I would say the most part, is knowing what exactly women are looking for, because everyone's looking for something different. Everyone feels sexy in different things, you know what I'm saying? So getting their opinion, their surveys. What's your favorite swimsuit? Do you have your swimsuit still? What's your swimsuit that you wear all the time? Let me see it. You know, what material is in it? Because it's not just any wholesale or any material that I'm getting. I want to make sure that it's good quality of what you're getting, and it's a good value. You know, right now I have swimsuits for plus size that are running from $40, you know, and then you have the regular sizes that run up to 30, some are 25, you know. So something, and these are sets, 3-piece sets, 2-piece sets, or even 1 pieces. Right now, I say the biggest challenge is to try to get all women, plus size women mainly, to know that, hey, this brand is also for you too. If you want to cover this, you want to thing this, I got you. You want to cover up, we getting that too. And it's gonna happen. So that's one of the challenges I would say, that is to let women know that this is not just only Black owned, this is women owned, you know, this is for all women. I want you to feel the most confident in it. And I want you to feel, hey, this is a great quality. It means something. I feel exactly what she says. So that's what it is.
Just continue to trust the process and believe in yourself.
So
Don't give up. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. And it's also about marketing.
Yes.
Let's go there. Marketing is so important.
Very important.
Because literally you're selling this product, and you're selling your mission as well. So how do you get people to buy in? So talk to me about some of the marketing strategies that you've been using or you plan to use.
So I would say one of the marketing strategies has, as far how we met, was just getting merchandise out there for people to see it, for people to wear it, for them to promote it. It is going to be, I know what people were like, oh yeah, you know, you should give to, you know, the influencers that have this amount of money or that amount of money. But how I'm doing my marketing with Swim by Chrissy, I'm trying to get the women that are inspiring and motivating people, you know. So I target those women. So when you saw me on the Wendy Williams show, and that was those were 2 powerful women, one of them being from the King of Queens, and the show that I watch all the time, and having the opportunity to just think, you know, mindlessly, just like, hey, let's see if they will wear this. Like, this is something that I think she'll like it, because both of them had 2 different pieces based on who they were. So knowing the person, knowing the character, giving them something. So I would say my marketing strategy for myself when it comes to swimsuits is basically getting those women that want to feel sexy, that want to help and motivate other women, that also want to throw the word out there, like, hey, you know, this is for self-confidence, make you feel good within yourself. And I guess that's basically it, I would say, when it comes to the marketing with me wanting to get people, getting women.
We could talk more about that, because you're gonna, and like you said, like, it's a lot of work. And you know, that's something I also want to underscore here as well, because people see your beautiful page, your beautiful pictures, you're smiling, and you have everything organized, and it seems perfect. But there are moments when you feel as if, oh my God, this is overwhelming. It's too much. When you don't have the capital, you don't have the resources, you don't have the manpower, because chances are you're running this whole operation by yourself. Definitely. You're your administrative assistant, you're your spokesperson, you're everything. Because that's what it takes when you're a Black individual trying to do a startup business and you don't have the resources, because that's the reality of the situation. But what you do have is confidence in you and believing in you. So talk to me about times when you feel like, you know what, this is just not working. It's just too much. Do you experience those moments?
I definitely experienced that. One of them was when I was, you know, launching it on June the 21st, the first day of summer. And I had to now have pictures of the website of all the pieces. So Sunday is launching at 12 o'clock on Monday. And my best friend, his wife, has helped me basically organized. I would say we had 17 pieces, small and large, and then we had plus size. She had the fake grass in the background of her, in the back of her yard, and we're basically taking photo shoots and presenting the suits without, anyone on it, because I can't try all these on. I'm not a plus size. I'm only a small. And how much, as me as a woman being, not only a CEO, I can't afford to pay anyone to be a model for me. Or, I had to wear certain pieces myself. But I would say having her there with me, helping me take the pictures, helping me basically sew the detail of each custom wholesale item, has the tag of swim in the back of it, what it stands for on the tag. So when you have it, so that basically, I would say, is a special design of what separates it from being just a wholesale brand, having that brand inside. So her, helping me sew all these pieces on, her being the main person doing it as well too, but also reminding me, like, this is why I'm doing it. She's, like the motivation, she's inspiring me, like, Crystal, this is a good job. Like, you're going to do good. This is going to be a great launch. This is going to have that, person in my ear was just amazing.
Look at those beautiful pieces, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we're talking about, women supporting each other. Because
Yes.
here you're talking about this friend who really helped you to get through this process.
Get this
Again,
launch together.
because you don't have the funds, the capital to say you could hire models to do it.
Yes.
But you did it anyway, right? And this
Did
is how
it
your
anyway.
creativity comes
Yeah.
in.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So just believe in yourself and keep pushing. And I think my body looks okay. And if you
Yeah.
ever need a model, feel free to reach out.
Yes. Yeah, I was
I'm
looking.
volunteering.
Trust me, I was looking. I was like, maybe I don't need to be the small anymore. Maybe I can get with a nice suits and we have the models be the small. But definitely,
We got to
it's
support
definitely-
each other.
Yes.
That's about that sisterhood and being authentic about it, being real, right?
Yes.
One thing I've also learned, and ask if you've ever had an encounter like this, where sometimes we don't see and we don't recognize and acknowledge our value,
Mm-hmm.
but someone else on the outside, I call them the predators. They
Yeah.
see that and they
Yes.
come in making
Mhm.
it seem as if, wow, you know what, Crystal, I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you.
Mhm.
But then they have their own ulterior motives.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So we have to be mindful, use our discerning spirit and listen
Yeah.
when that inner gut is talking to us, our intuition that we often push to the side, being
Yes.
able to listen to it. And I think because I can use I statements for this, because I want to believe people are good and they have good intentions. So
Definitely.
because of that, I'm oftentimes so vulnerable. And sometimes people misinterpret my kindness for weakness.
I definitely agree with that as well.
But I do believe the God I serve,
Mm-hmm.
he's always showing up and he's
Yes.
always standing by when the time is right.
Yes, definitely.
So have you ever had a situation where you may have just allowed yourself to be vulnerable and then it turned out to be a disappointment? And how did you handle that?
I would say me and my life, I had I would say growing up I was a friend pleaser. I'm getting money from I'm stealing money from home, and I'm using the money that I'm stealing from home to buy food for my friends at girls at in junior high school, and that was something. Now I had to realize that I was definitely trying to please someone, giving them it was never, I wouldn't say they were bullies. It was, me buying friends. And it took me now to realize that I don't have to buy any friends. Me coming as a person enough and being there for you, being loyal to both of our friendship is where I feel I stand. But I had experience, I would say, just so recently last year, me not knowing someone, but just I would say acquaintance and getting to know her through other people and us just hanging out. We became, I thought, friends, but then I had to realize this level of friendships and this level of people that you should want to have access in your life. And you should not always had those doors open for everyone, because not everyone's intention is good. So instead of me being, so vulnerable to everyone, and this is what I've been through, this is what people do, people would start doing it and remixing it. Like, oh, wait, she's so cool, said she forgave this person for stealing or cheating and stuff like that. Let's me see. So I had to keep some of my personal things that I have dealt with other people and encounters to myself, and just basically watch the person who what they are, and not say, okay, maybe they're going to do this, but let me just see how it's going to be, and how it is. Because I'm the type of person, for example, like it was this woman at my job. She was extremely nice to me, and her birthday was literally probably a week before mine or whatever, and she was up there like, oh, always say hi to me at just a couple of things. She said it was her birthday a week after, and in my heart I wanted to buy the girl a cupcake as I am. And then I'm like, Crystal, stop it, you don't even know the girl, like she like be thoughtful. And that's how open-minded I am, and that's how people would take advantage of me as a human being, because they're like, okay, well, she's so nice and she's an act of service, because that is my love language that I had to learn, act of service. What can I get away with? People would so quick say, oh yeah, oh, I like her. And they just like me because how I am with, oh, you got napkins, you got this, you okay? Like I am that, I can't.
Caring.
Yes. So they like me based off of that. So I say, back to this experience with this person that I was very, vulnerable to. I supported her business. I was there for her. I was first customer, I would say, getting her product. We, go away for my birthday, for vacation. She comes to my house. She stays the night before we go to Florida. We were out there for 5 days with my friends and family. So we were out there, we came back, we had a great time. Very, very nice person, great shoulder, you hand on her shoulder, so coming back home now, and just me, not paying attention, and her just saying, hey, my Cash App is not working, can I see your phone? And I'm calling a cab for everybody to get in, I'm calling an Uber for everybody to get in my cab. So I'm closer to the airport so everybody can meet here and their rides can go, from here. So at the moment of that time doing that, I'm not, thinking, got my, phone back, stuff like that. Didn't pay any mind. Actually, I had something in my mind to look at my Cash App. Everything was fine. The person stayed at my house. Later on, she left in the middle of the night. It was me and my cousin there. And then the next day, I see that a charge was made from my Cash App, from my Swim by Chrissy. This is my Swim by Chrissy account. It was people, I just had to launch. So I had people that, sent money to me. So I had it there to do restock. Like we were saying, once you give, you got to put it back. And then I see in my Swim by Chrissy email that somebody tried to take just the amount that was in there. Literally, it was 200. The person took 158, and it was an eBay charge, So then, I approached this former friend and I was like, hey, what did you do in my Cash App or anything? Oh, I didn't do nothing and nothing. I don't know. Remember I told you it was something going on with my phone too? That's what she threw in my head. So I was like, oh, okay. That's kind of weird, because why is it happening to both of us? To further look into my account to see that more money was taken out of my bank account. The hard-earned money that I made, working through the pandemic, working through this, having 2 jobs before the pandemic, having that savings account, money was getting wired out. $4,000 was getting wired out. I'm seeing charges, 13 charges to be totaled. And this person name showed up several times as me giving her money, and also other names that I never knew. After getting the full bank statement from the bank and the bank letting me know that this happened, I approached this person and the person denied it to this day. Wow. Never, would never say that you did it, never would admit it. But what hurts the most is that I let you into my home. I cooked for you, brought you around my friends and my family. I was vulnerable to you, certain things that happened in my life. And then you did this. So it made me think, are people doing things to me because they feel that I have nobody? Am I saying I don't have nobody to have my back for them to treat me wrong? So me and her ended our friendship, and I'm, not talking to her at all. And she still reaches out to my other friends, asking how they're doing. Like, oh, hi, how's everything? But
Wow.
their respect for me and their loyalty for me is like, this sucks. Like, you was a nice person. We thought you were cool, and you did this to the person that brought you here on this trip to meet you. No, we can't talk to you. Like, why would we? But, never got sorry. I was able to get the funds back in my account because of my bank. Thank God. Thank America. So, but just a disappointment and being wrong and strong she was. So I show it to you right now. I come right now. I didn't to this day, any one of the 10 people that was on the trip were asking her, and she was like, really? How can I do that? Like, I don't know how it got done to the 9 friends that was with me asking how it got done. It got done. We don't know how it happened, but it happened, and it's shown that it happened. So I just say that to everyone, just keep your guard up. I mean, not keep your guard up, just pray for discernment, right? Pray for that, to know that wisdom, to, like you said, to wait a minute. Does this feel right? Is this person coming from a good place?
Yeah. And you know what? Just listening to you, I think as human beings, we have this capacity to assign people roles in our lives that don't deserve it. We
Mm-hmm.
see people, words like love, friendship,
Yeah.
you're good to me. Like we use those
Mm-hmm.
words loosely. And we don't give people the opportunity to earn that trust,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'll use the analogy because we're wrapping up shortly. I'll
Yeah.
use the analogy of if I go for a job interview, I have to show up with a resume, I have to do an
Yeah.
interview because they want to make sure I have the skill sets and I have the knowledge to be able to follow through with the job description and the requirements, right? So,
Definitely.
why is it that we don't give individuals a chance to prove who they are? We're
Yes.
so trusting. And I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we create that because we're having expectation. So
Too.
because you are a good person or I am a
Mm-hmm.
good person, I expect that everybody is going to be the same way. No, that's where I go wrong. So
Yeah.
now automatically I send this person, okay, you're going to be my friend. And this is
Mm-hmm.
what friends do, right? We
Yeah.
care, we protect, we love, and we're compassionate, and we're always
Mm-hmm.
serving.
Yeah.
Wrong.
No.
Because then now that person, that's not who they are.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden we are setting up ourselves for expectation
Mm-hmm.
because now we are in turn looking forward to this person. It's
Yes.
about reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
But a person cannot give you what they don't have.
Yes.
And that's where we go wrong. And I had to learn the hard way to be
Mm-hmm.
very mindful and not assign people roles in my life that
Definitely.
doesn't deserve it.
I had to learn that as well too. Mm-hmm.
Got to protect yourself
Mm-hmm.
and also being able to continue to be kind and
Mm-hmm.
continue to show up, not
Yes.
allowing people to change who I am. Because
Mm-hmm.
I believe you're either good or you're bad.
Yeah.
There's no in
Definitely.
between, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we often like to say, wow, this person, how could they change? They
Yeah.
never really changed.
Yeah.
They were always like that. But
Mm-hmm.
the mask, we've been wearing masks pre-COVID,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pre the Spanish flu.
Frida Kohler,
We've been
yes.
wearing those masks. So
Yes.
we have to be super mindful and just
Mm-hmm.
continue to show up as our authentic self and
Mm-hmm.
be kind, be fearless in our pursuit of just showing love and compassion. Because
Yeah.
one thing I can tell you all, and this is my reality, the more compassionate and the more I give, the
Mm-hmm.
more I get. God has always made a way for me, even when I think that
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to show up. But this is where, like Martin Luther King says, faith is taking the first step without seeing the whole staircase. We
Mm-hmm.
have to believe, we have to keep faith and hope alive.
Yes.
Because it's that moment when we decide, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's like chipping away at a block.
Mm-hmm.
The more we chip, the block is going to go dope. And eventually, it's going to be gone. But again, because of that instant gratification
Yeah.
and human nature in it,
Mm-hmm.
we want this and we want it now. Patience is a good virtue to have. And we have to develop that patience. So,
Mm-hmm.
Crystal, it's like coming up, it's wrapping up. Is there anything that you would like to say? I want you to tell folks where they could get to your line and just remind us of your why.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can get Swim by Chrissy, www.swimbychrissy.com. Again, the meeting is an acronym of Sexy Women Inspire and Motivate. It's for women for all shapes and sizes. We just launched in June. Stay tuned. We have so much. I have so much I want to do for this line and for our women in this community.
So, I'm going to correct you. So much you want to do, so much you are doing. Language is so important.
Yes, so
And I
much.
believe in manifesting what it is that we
Mm-hmm.
want. So put it out into the universe. Be bold. This show is about being bold. Put it out
Yes.
into the universe and just watch it happen. So for anyone who is watching this or will watch it later on, we have this woman who has experienced deep loss and trauma and disappointments and challenges because we're not immune to it. But here she is today. She launched her swim line. She stepped out on faith. And in June of last year, launched her swim line and is making things happen for herself because she believes. She's relentless.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here to tell you all can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Step out of that box, that invisible box that you create for yourself or that society has created for us.
Mm-hmm.
Do what it is. Find a self. Find that little lost, broken, hurt girl. Heal her up. Because if you never address that, that's going to hold you back
Mm-hmm.
for eternity. And when you talk about, it's about that generational curse and stress that we
Mm-hmm.
want to break.
Break.
We want to
Mm-hmm.
end this cycle. It's like this Ferris wheel. You
Mm-hmm.
just keep going. But for change to happen,
Mm-hmm.
you have to change something about what it is that you're
Yes, definitely.
gotta change something that's what you're doing to have a
Mm-hmm.
different result.
I definitely agree to that. And if you are a woman that is up there and you can become a mentor, it's not that hard to get a mentee to help, to help them in their life, guide them to get to where they want to be. Because it's all about, again, I can't say it enough, inspiring and motivating one another.
Yeah.
Why not?
Being of service and
Being of
time
service.
is one of the most valuable thing that you could ever share with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because time, you could take away my material things, but time I can never replace.
Yes.
And
Never
with
get-
that, I want to end and I want to wish everyone an amazing rest. That's like my favorite word. Amazing rest of the week on purpose. And I'm going to close
Yes.
with Michelle Obama. There is no limit to what we can do as women when we collectively put our efforts together. And with that, have a wonderful night. And thank you so much, Crystal,
Thank you for having
being
me.
so vulnerable. And I know I'm going to see you at the top, and I'm here cheering you on. Have a good night. Bye, everyone.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.